Hey, so I thought I'd jump on here to talk a little bit about something that I've experienced, as well as so many other creators, digital content creators, entrepreneurs, just people who really made a decision to step outside of their comfort zone and create something new, something unique, something that they can call theirs. And that is the planning trap. Now, just by the name itself, you can probably assume where I'm going with this, but you're probably suffering from the planning trap if you're spending so much time at the drawing board that you never get to the point of execution, right? You're constantly saying, well, I need to do this, I need to buy that, I need to talk to this person, I need to set this up, I need to build my team. And you're just spending, again, so much time in thought that nothing ever becomes truly realized. Even before I started posting these videos, if I may be honest, I was thinking about doing it probably more than a year, probably more than 2 years, for really being honest. It took more than 2 years before I actually got started producing this type of content. And that's because I would spend so much time saying, hey, I gotta have the right theme, I gotta have the right camera. I was at a panel recently, well, not recently, it was a couple months ago, and I was speaking to a good friend of mine who goes by the Wealthy Guy, and we were just kind of having a moment where we were talking about how much we invested in all this expensive equipment that we never ended up using in our own video production, right? I use my phone here. I got a Canon T4i, which I bought at the time when it recently came out and spent many hundreds of dollars. I think he did the same thing, and I ended up just using my phone, like I said. So it's just one of those things where you don't want to get caught up and just planning. You really want to execute. As some of you know, outside of producing these types of videos, I'm a consultant and an advisor. And one of my clients is Pace University, right? I advise on their transformative leadership program. And one thing that we highlight for the students in this program is something called the Lean Startup Model. And one of the main pillars of this model, that, as the name suggests, a lot of startups use, is constant experimentation, constant testing, whether it's an A/B test or any other type of test, just to get some type of pulse on how your customers may react to a product or service. And I think it's so important to take the same approach to content creation, to, again, if you have your own product or service, to a product or service, right? Test it out with a small sample size, right? Just get it out there, just get started. Because there's so much, believe it or not, and I can say this from experience, there's so much you don't know. You think you can kind of mind read and predict and have that foresight of how things might domino out, but you actually have no idea. Once you get started, you'll be met with so many new experiences and stimuli and so much situations that are new and that you'll have to adjust and pivot. So instead of just waiting around, I think you could predict the future. It's best, at least from my experience, and I recommend it to you, just to get started. One of my favorite phrases, besides just do it, is let's see what happens, right? Just start and ask yourself, let's see what happens. Let that be the spirit that guides you to action, right? Let's see what happens. And if you find that, hey, maybe I should have thought about this a bit more, think about it, right? Take that step back and adjust and pivot and actually go forward with a more sound strategy. But again, you might start and you might see that you had all the skills, all the knowledge that you needed the whole time, right? And that's something that a lot of people also find themselves in. So again, as you think about the YouTube channel you want to start, the business that you've been grinding over for the last couple of years, trying to see how to just best execute it, the right activation you need to really set it off, anything that requires some degree of creativity, just get started, and let's see what happens.